we interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Bam. The 15th episode of the Quantum Leap Revival series is now upon us, and let's get cracking. This time around, Ben is leapt into basically the female version of Saul Goodman. He's a public defender, and just like any good public defender, he's busy. And busier even yet when he has to defend somebody for murder. Usually, his character would just take the plea deal, but if he does that, he can't leap, because the person who he's defending would go away basically for life, and his brother would eventually die because he joins a violent gang. It's just this big muck of bad things. So Ben has to prove this kid's innocence. And he's not doing it alone. By his side is not Addison, but this time Jen, because Jen actually has experience in a court setting. So Jen gets to hop into the hologram chamber and help Ben out. Like clockwork, this episode basically did the same thing that it did before, right? It revealed something pretty big in the last episode, and then the next episode was mediocre at best. Now, I like this episode, and that mostly has to do with the fact that I love procedural legal dramas, legal thrillers, legal mysteries, things like that. I grew up reading John Grisham, so I always loved those types of stories. I like watching Law and Order shows. I like stuff like that. So in that general sense, I did like this episode. But in the sense of Quantum Leap, I thought that it was just okay. The last thing that we figured out was that Martinez is back, right? He showed up at the very end, the tail end of the last episode, saying, "I'm gonna win," before he ventured off. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But in this episode, we don't learn anything more about that. Just like the last time we got a revelation of something. I think the last time around it was Ian, right? We figured out that Ian at some point in the future leaps, and we didn't learn anything more about that, right? The next episode was more of a character study on Ian himself and nothing else. We didn't learn anything, really. Same thing here. We find out that Martinez is back. He says he's gonna win. We're like, ooh, does this actually mean Evil Leaper arc? What does this mean exactly? Let's find out in this episode. Nope. No, this episode's just a basic episode. We don't learn anything more about Evil Leapers or Martinez or Ian or anything, really. No Janice, no nothing. Just this random legal arc. Again, it's not a bad episode. It's just weird to have it this late in the game. You know what I mean? Like, we are at the tail end of the season. I want to see some explosive moments. The episode was fine. It was kind of predictable at the end of the day. The best thing about it technically was the fact that Jen was there, right? We got to see a little bit more of Jen being Jen. We got to see Jen in the hologram room, which was cool. We got to see a little bit more of her acting prowess, if you can call it that, because she figured out that she missed Ben. She hasn't worked with him forever, and it was nice seeing that. It was nice seeing them on screen together, bounce ideas. In that sense, it was pretty good. Like, last episode was pretty good for Addison's character development. This one was okay for Jen's. But I mean, not to be too harsh here, but I think the time for character development was more so at the beginning of the season, not now. But I did want to mention some theories, or I guess some of the comments that you guys had about the last episode. In the original series, the Evil Leapers had a different color when they leapt away. That's one thing that I didn't really know because I completely forgot about that. That was like years ago when I initially saw it. Basically, when Scott Bakula jumped Sam, he basically had the same color as Ben. It's this whitish bluish color when he leapt. The Evil Leapers, on the other hand, because they're the opposite, they leapt with a reddish color because they're evil, right? Basic Star Wars philosophy. When Martinez leapt in the last episode, he leapt with the same color as Ben, a whitish blue thing. That again does beg the question on if he really is an evil leaper, which it feels to me like he is, because he's like, "I'm gonna win," which means one of them has to win. Whatever they're trying to win is another question entirely, but it still feels like he's supposed to be an evil leaper. But if they're going off of the same thing as the original series, then his color should have been red and it wasn't. So what is he? Is he a part of some kind of futuristic government program that stole the Quantum Leap stuff, or is he an evil leaper? If he was actually a part of some kind of government program in the future that stole the quantum leap stuff, that would just annoy me. I would probably roll my eyes at that point, because yes, earlier on in the season we did have that government person come in and almost shut them down. So if they shut them down in the future and then took the stuff for themselves, could they eventually recreate like an evil version of Quantum Leap using the same technology? I guess. But again, I would probably roll my eyes and be a little bit aggravated that they ignored the evil Leaper stuff. I'm just saying, there's something there if they use it. Overall, very average episode. I liked it more than some of the other average episodes that we've gotten because I'm a big legal junkie guy. I really like a courtroom setting, but again, I prefer watching a courtroom setting in other shows like Law & Order, so there you have it. Guys, let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comment section down below. Where the crap do you think we're heading next? We only have like 3-4 more episodes, tops. What's gonna happen? Only time will tell. Guys, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with the next review for the Quantum Leap series. Until then, peace out.